game shape and have a chance to get in the rhythm. And we're going to have to work that out when we break the lineup. But, you know, the starters actually played pretty well, both ends of the floor, offensively and defensively. And, you know, again, those guys have not been, you know, we have playing 3 guys who haven't been able to practice regularly, and they needed those minutes, but it showed. So, you know, we'll take it, watch the film like we do, and, you know, we have 3 days to get ready for the opener.
If your guys had shot the ball pretty well, what do you think the reason was tonight? Did you like the shots you got tonight?
No. I mean, well, especially like, again, I think I thought the starters ball movement was pretty good, and then we broke the lineup and we just struggled to get good shots. We had one stretch in the third quarter, which wasn't quite as good. I mean, which was a little bit better, but I didn't even realize. But you look at I didn't realize the plus minus, but obviously the starters were good, and you know, again, the bench guys struggled.
With the shots you didn't like, what did you not like about it?
Well, because there's no ball movement, you know, and there's a lack of organization with that group. There are blown sets, you know, very disorganized and quick shots, especially in stretches where, you know, we didn't put a lot of pressure on the defense. You know, we're taking some shots with no penetration, no rolls, no cuts, you know, nothing that's going to allow you to create gaps to drive it or get the ball going to the basket.
Now that the preseason is over and this is a clear demarcation point, what are you happy with? What do you think needs improvement?
Well, I think the best way to look at it is what, you know, when have we played? I think it's really like this, to be honest, for like the first 20 games. What are you doing when you play well, and what's not happening when you play poorly? So for us, clearly, when we have offensive pace and energy, this would be most teams, the ball's hitting the paint before we shoot, and we're getting to the free throw line. Those have been our best moments. And then defensively, when we run back, which tonight I think we were pretty good. They were great, okay? And when we're, again, controlling the ball, controlling cutters, so we're not having to be in a bunch of rotations, that's when we're good so far too. So, but again, it takes a while before you really know like what your team is. I mean, in Philadelphia, the biggest issue were turnovers and rebounding, and we had too many turnovers tonight. But again, a lot of that was as a result of like, you know, impatience to me offensively.
What did you see from Aaron? He had a rough start. It seemed like he was kind of struggling in traffic a little bit. Where does his shots need to come from?
Well, I think his shots should come inside and outside. I think that if you look at it last year, I think he shot around 37 on spot-up threes, and those should be the majority of his threes, as it should be with most players. I mean, if you look at the difference with almost every player in our league, the guys that what their numbers are shooting spot-ups versus even off one dribble, there's a drastic difference. When you shoot spot-up threes, I think you'll shoot a good percentage. And then to me, it's cuts, post-ups, seals, both in transition in the half court and then being all over the offensive glass.
Coach, Mo got off to a slow start, but he's finished up strong. Talk about how he played in your eyes tonight.
Well, I think he played, again, I think he was one of the guys. He hasn't been able to practice regularly the last few days. So again, that group had really lacked energy. And, you know, he wasn't, you know, of the games we played so far, you know, he didn't play with the same energy level that he did in the other games. I mean, that's the thing that stands out. He made some shots, you know, but, you know, hopefully he'll feel fine tomorrow so he can get 3 days of practice. I think him and Terrence and Sim, all 3 of them, you can see they need practice time. You know, they need practice time, both just so they can physically feel better and they can get their games in rhythm.
Coach, how
does the team get its offensive rebounding numbers up?
Listen, and it's going to be critical for our group, but I see so much of that to me too starts with playing inside out. You know, where you get the defense spread out, and then hopefully that leads to more spot ups or drives where you're getting, you know, shot blocking coming in, and then there should be angles for guys to get in there and get offensive rebounds. I think the way the game is played now, offensive rebounding becomes a bigger part of things. You know, usually, I mean, for years in our league, offensive rebound has never been an indicator really of anything. Never. Good offensive teams usually don't. I mean, the Spurs are a good example. You know, they've always been a top 10 offensive team, and they've never really offensive rebounded much. But now the way the game is played, I think most teams, you know, like again, that's 2-3 baskets a game that can help you get to 110 or whatever you need. So, but again, I think that starts with like tonight. They're huge, you know, and our best possessions were when you move them around. If you're going to let 2 7-footers just stand in the lane, you know, you're not going to get good shots. It's not going to be inside out. You're not going to get fouled. And there aren't going to be a lot of ways to get offensive rebounds. So I think that our opportunity to get offensive rebounds will come when we have good player movement, good ball movement.
Steve, at what point, if any, does the lack of free throw attempts become a concern?
Oh, I mean, it's always a concern. I mean, the free throw game is, like tonight, you know, minus 14. But it's going to be, again, that's all, it's the same thing as playing inside out. I mean, if we're not playing inside out, we're settling for jump shots off 1-2 passes without penetration, you're not going to get fouled. Good?
Thanks.